All right,
Oh,
breaking news. Adrian Peterson said that he is not officially retired when some other running backs have officially retired recently. So I just want to shout out an Oklahoma man, a Viking man, a Minnesota man, just a man who, a New Orleans man as well, an Arizona man.
Seattle
Uh,
man,
was
a,
he on the
a
Seahawks?
Detroit man,
Was he on the Seahawks? Was
a Detroit man.
Oh my god, I didn't know AP was on the Seahawks. My goodness, he has been around the block. But I just want to say, we recently have been going over some notable fantasy running backs in the past decade that will be reduced to trivia questions. Adrian Peterson will not be a trivia
He will
question. He's
still
going to the
be
Hall of
he
Fame.
will be a trivia
No,
question, but he will
yes,
be a known trivia question.
it'll be a give me
It will be
trivia
it's a
question.
lob.
Anybody
It's a
can answer
lava.
that one. My
Yeah.
my my mom, who maybe watches like 3 football games a year, usually just the Washington USC game because she went to USC in Washington. That's like usually if they
Yeah.
play, that's like the only game she'll like really tune into, and it's very funny. Whichever team's leading, she'll root for them. It's pretty funny. She kind of gets that pass because she went to both.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Anyway, yeah, like Adrian Pearson, that's something my mom would like. If I said NFL running back, I think one of the first people my mom would say would be Adrian
Adrian
Peterson.
Peterson. Yeah.
So yeah, he hasn't hung up the cleats, so I want to shout out him. 38 years old, he's still got
Um,
it.
Speaking of shout outs though, I know it's a little bit of a controversial topic among the sports world, but I did actually want to shout out Ted
Don't know where
Lasso,
this is going. Oh,
the
geez, okay.
show. Um, I so
The
I don't know
show or the hypothetical
the hypothetical human
year that's
being.
going on at
Yeah.
AFC Richmond this season.
So I don't know how much you like follow them on Twitter. Obviously, they have a Twitter
I
account,
In terms of
but
the show itself, I got up to like season 2,
yeah.
episode
So
2 with
I
Danny
haven't
Rojas screaming football is life.
I haven't watched this new season yet, but I want to give props to the entire like the PR department for Ted Lasso and all that stuff because they run an AFC Richmond Twitter account, they run the Ted
Yes,
Lasso
I saw
real
that.
Twitter account,
I just noticed that the other
and
day.
they've also now gotten real soccer teams to tweet out like their matches versus AFC Richmond. Like this past week, yesterday actually, Man City
Yeah,
tweeted
Man
out that
City.
they have a match against AFC Richmond, and it's just awesome to me to see.
I also
Uh,
heard they apparently got the Man City manager Pep to do
yes,
like a
on the
quick
show.
cameo scene
Yeah,
for the show.
I just want to like I think that it's really cool that you have a show kind of breaking the into the like the real world like that, kind of breaking the
100%.
barrier
Oh
because
yeah.
that makes obviously like there are people who don't like the show. Obviously, there are people that love the show. There's people that are indifferent, but I think we can all agree though that it kind of encapsulates you a little bit more, makes you feel like the show, the characters a little bit more, like get in more into it because it's kind of like you relate to it. You see it like it's acting like they're real people, and it's I think that that's really cool.
I thought I think I saw like a recent post where someone was like, yeah, what Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney are doing, yeah, it's like Ted Lasso. It's like, well, okay. One's a show, but I do think this is like a pretty good way of slightly introducing like the American crowd to kind of like
Yeah,
British
no,
soccer
I agree,
specifically. Like,
and also I think it just be fucking hilarious. Oh, God,
you got to
gosh
go
darn
back and
it,
blurt that for the first 10 minutes. Remember that.
darn it.
Dude,
It would be really cool to have AFC Richmond take on Wrexham. I think that
that
would
would be
be
so
such a
sick.
cool cross. Like I know that this is like supposed to be their last season, but like you have to have one special episode. Just Ryan Reynolds in there. You have AFC Richmond. You have what's the guy who plays Ted Lasso again? Um,
Jason Sudeikis.
yeah, you have Jason Sudeikis.
Maybe you can get Harry Styles in there too. You know,
No,
get the
no,
real
no,
crossover with
no,
what's going on
no,
in his personal life. It'd be
no.
really, really, really funny. So, like, you know, they have what Jamie Tart like set up as
Yeah.
Jack Grealish as like the hothead guy.
They have he has an actual Twitter account too, by the way.
Yeah, no,
Jamie
well
Tart has a real
that's
Twitter
just
account.
that's just good. That's just
That's
smart
just
right there.
it's great marketing. I
Yeah,
love this. This is
that's just smart
fantastic.
shit
Whoever
right
came up
there.
with that idea better have a promotion. They better
Yeah,
have
like
gotten a
one of
promotion.
my like this is really really taking it back, going back to the greatest television series created in the past 15 years, the Real Bros of Simi Valley. One thing I really like about them is that they make the fake Instagram accounts of like Hawk and stuff. Like that's funny.
Yeah.
And it's funny. It's fun to bring fictional characters to life, put them on social media. This might take a dark turn, but I know like 13 Reasons Why they did
Okay,
that.
nope,
I think
nope,
they were
nope,
like the
nope.
first one.
We are
But no,
not
no, no,
going
yeah,
that way. No,
that's why I
no,
prefaced
we're
it.
not going that way.
But Everett, back to the main point. I think it'd be very, very funny if they switch it up and transitioned a little bit so that what's his face? I just forgot it. Oh yeah, Harry Styles was like the Jamie Tart for Man City, and they made him their star player. It'd be phenomenal. It'd
Yeah,
be so good.
unfortunately, Jason Sudeikis is like the showrunner,
Yeah, I'm
the
pretty
producer, and the
sure he's the
writer.
executive producer for this.
So
No,
that's
he's not
never
gonna let that one
happening.
fly.
Never
But
happening.
I mean, Jason, like if you want to destroy TV ratings, like if you want to crush Succession into a little pulp, this is how you do it. Okay, this is how you're
I
gonna
mean,
do it. I
Ted
don't watch
Lasso has already
Succession, so
done
I don't.
pretty well, to be fair.
No, yeah, I like when I see like I mean I found this out recently that my dad's like a very, very big like modern pop culture TV fan, like absolutely loves Game of Thrones, like loves
I mean,
Succession,
everybody loves Game of
like
Thrones, but yeah.
Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul. Like my dad's like, oh yeah, love every second of it. But he hasn't broken into Ted Lasso yet. So like once we get that demographic of like 50, 60-year-old men watching a
Hey,
English soccer
I'll,
TV show, then I
I
know
I
it's
won't
here to stay.
I won't say last names. But Tim got me into Ted Lasso. So Tim, if you're
That's pretty
listening to this,
shocking, but also at the same.
yeah, thank you.
So, well, real quick, one thing I just want to say about Tim, real quick, is that I know he used to tell me growing up before I ever watched soccer ever. He told me like, oh yeah, I growing up, I saw this team kind of like their jerseys, Tottenham Hotspurs. Started to become a fan of them. That was the worst decision I've ever made in my life in terms of picking a fandom. Tottenham, they have not won a trophy
It's
this
not
century.
Arsenal. At least it's not Arsenal.
Okay, yeah. You know what? I think
it's a good transition. It's a good transition.
We'll do the intro first and we'll do it. Okay. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to an extremely important episode of the Waterboy Podcast. Today is episode 120, and the Los Angeles Lakers have officially been eliminated from the NBA playoffs, but the Celtics said not so fast, Everett. The Celtics said not so fast. We're going to start off this episode quickly, recapping a little bit of soccer top. We'll talk some Premier League, recap my outstanding, sensational, historic fantasy Premier League season where I'm a member of a 30 to 40 year long run league by my
It
English
is a
friend's
generational, literally crossing league.
No, like they started this league out on pen and paper before the internet. Like I was also just asking like my dad the other day. I was like, when did fantasy football become popular like pre-internet? And my dad was saying like it was a thing when I was in high school. My dad was
like,
I know obviously it was like 75. Like
I know
OJ Simpson was the first round pick in fantasy when my dad started.
I know we're about to talk about soccer a little bit, but seriously though, that like I know obviously they're like people try to make fun of us on it like Twitter or TikTok, whatever, being like, oh, you're so young, you don't like know things, but like I have never lived in an era or a time where I haven't had fantasy football digitized. So whenever I think about fantasy anything and how it worked before, like how the amount of math that goes into that probably is why people who are like our parents' age are so good at their jobs and why we're all about to be screwed because we didn't
to a
do
degree. At this point, if I ask my parents any math question, they're like, "What? Pull up the calculator."
But you're like, hey, Dad, what's 2 touchdown, 1 interception, 345-yard game?
Oh yeah,
how many fantasy
calculate
points?
that up?
He's got it off the top of his brain.
He's got
just right there.
Oh yeah, he's got that. Well, the first question he asks is how many points per yard? Is it 0.04? What are we doing? That's his first question. That's how you know he's a baller.
Yeah, he's got it out in under 30 seconds.
Exactly. Yeah, but a lot of things that go into these decisions, a lot of factors that can change some variables around here. But yeah, let's just say we'll talk about soccer in a little bit. But I got to bring up Dodgers have been smoking the living crud out of the Braves. You like that word, Everett? Living crud.
I'll take it.
Shout out Bobby Miller for his.
Let's actually before we get to that, because I feel like we might be on that segment for a minute. Let's talk about soccer real quick. Get that out of the way, and then we'll come back.
Yeah, so real quick, Premier League. I went over this start of the year, a little fantasy Premier League. I understand nobody cares about fantasy teams, but I just wanted to update everybody real quick. Right now, Everett, I'm in first place of this fantasy
You had
league.
a nail
That
biter last week, though. I'll give you
Oh
that
my
nail
god, yeah,
biter.
you know firsthand, watching me just update the scores over and over
You
every
know,
5 seconds.
yeah, Grant was sweating profusely from everywhere.
Sweating profusely, that's an understatement. I was legitimately like essentially just producing my own shower
It looked
watching this
like you
game.
dunked him in a pool and then took him out.
Yeah, the one thing about this fantasy league, like this style of fantasy that's different than others, like it's an auction style fantasy, but it's not an auction like American football auctions where, each person can bid on one specific player and then they
Yeah, it's
have
like the
them.
World
Like,
Cup. It's like the World
so
Cup
yeah,
style.
like for this, every, like in theory, I mean, I'm pretty sure, I think it's like 87% of players have Holland on their team. So
Yeah.
everyone can have Holland.
It's just
So
how you
at the end
allocate
of the
your money.
day, yeah, like at the end of the day, Holland scores fun and all, but everybody playing this has Holland. So it doesn't actually matter if he scores a goal. It doesn't make a difference. Everybody has him. But it's it's the irrelevant players, the random guys. Those are the difference makers. And, recently I want to shout out a couple of boys. Real quick, Karu Matoma plays for Brighton, Hove, and Albion. Everett, I'd be impressed if you knew that.
No idea.
This man Matoma is absolutely disgusting this year. The Japanese sensation, way more impressive than Shohei Ohtani. This is the best athlete in Japan this year. What Matoma's done for Brighton is unbelievable, absurd. My last shout out of the day, we're keeping this one short. Kieran Trippier. Okay, this guy, you probably have never heard of him. If you're gonna think of an English fullback and English right back, you're going to probably think of Trent Alexander-Arnold or Reece James over him. Kieran Trippier is not the first guy you
I think
think
I
of.
actually had Trippier in FIFA this past year.
I in terms of FIFA, I'm not sure how great his
I
card
think he's
is,
like an
but
82.
he is the best English right back in the world right now, best right back in the Premier League. This man has been absolutely on fire. I want to shout out Kieran Trippier. He's the starting right back for the English national team over Trent. So, yeah, I mean, you could take that with how you want, even though Trent is awful. Anyway, last thing, we got to go over this one. Arsenal Football Club, Everett. So, in January, Arsenal had an 8-point lead over Man City, which is essentially a 3-win lead.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Depending on the points, but yes.
For a lot of scenarios, once you get to that point in the season, I believe January, it's around 19 or 20 games in, a little over halfway. If you have an 8-point lead or a substantial lead like that, you're projected to be heavy favorites to win the league and run away with the whole thing. That's not what that isn't what happened though. Recently, Arsenal, it all started like before the World Cup. Their striker Gabriel Jesus from Man City gets hurt, out for the World Cup, out for a really long stretch. I thought that was going to be a massive
Did you just
problem.
call him Jesus?
Yeah, Gabriel Jesus.
Isn't it Jesus?
No, Jesus. Gabriel Jesus. Phenomenal start of the year. Got hurt. I thought that was going to provide like a lot of problems for Arsenal. Obviously, their striker they just got from City's hurt. Did not matter for the short term. Eddie Nketiah balled the hell up. And I only know this because I had them all at fantasy for like at least 3 weeks before I sold them all. And trust me, every player I'm about to list, they were all sold recently or a while ago because they started playing like shit. But start of the year, Gabriel Martinelli, the god himself, just got hurt a couple weeks ago, out for the year. Maybe he's back for preseason. We'll see. Martin Odegaard, the greatest player on the road in the history of Arsenal, but for some reason when he plays at the MTI, or not the MTI, when he plays at the Emirates, he doesn't do well. I don't
He
understand.
got hurt too, right? Did he get hurt for a
No.
little bit?
Saka, phenomenal year, excellent year. Absolutely nothing wrong to say with him. And I'm kind of making fun of Arsenal fans here because they'll literally never say a bad thing about him. But the player of the year for Arsenal was William Saliba. The second he got hurt around January, February, he's their center back, French center back, who's younger than us, by the way. He's younger than us. The second he got hurt, the entire Arsenal defense went to absolute shambles. Could not defend a thing. I think their expected goals allowed went from 0.73 per game to 1.7 per game, literally increased by a goal per game once he got hurt. So that was the key. That's how Man City won the Prem this year, and they're probably going to win the treble. So
All
shout
right,
out Man City.
let's more so get into why you won this year rather than recapping the entire year of
I to be
soccer.
honest, I'm more under the impression nobody cares about our fantasy leagues, but I can quickly
I'm
recap
just
it.
being honest. I think more people who actively listen to this podcast probably care about that than you talking about soccer in general.
I argue that most people listening right now have skipped ahead to the
I
MLB
guarantee
section,
you
which we're about to get into.
they might have
No,
clicked off
NBA.
already.
We're going to the
They might have
NBA.
been gone after the Ted Lasso segment, so we'll see.
Yeah, but anyway, let's just say right now I have I'm pretty sure I did this math correct, 36-point lead going into the final week of games. I also want to say real quick, last thing about the Premier League. This is what they do correct, okay? For the very last week of the season, every single game kicks off at the exact same time. So there is no predetermined we need them to win and us to win. There is no like previous knowledge of like knowing your other matchups that need to win or lose. You just go out there and you have to try to win. It doesn't matter. Like unless you've clinched, go out there and try to win because you don't know how the other games are going to go. That's one thing that I love about the Premier League. The only thing though that can make it a little boring like this year is that when the title race is over before the last week of the season, that last week of the season could be a little bit boring to a degree. But not for the teams getting relegated. That they're shitting their pants the entire time. But yeah, that's what I had on the Prem. I do think overall though, like JJ Watt just bought Burnley. He's their owner. Like a lot of guys are trying to get into soccer. So
well, I think
cool.
the market is only getting bigger, especially in the US, based on Ted Lasso and Wrexham and all this exposure in the World Cup. So I think
it's
that
also cheaper to purchase a European soccer team because relegation brings down the prices.
Yeah.
So it's cheaper to buy into it too.
But I think that's kind of like the big reason why people are getting into it right now.
Pretty sure like all the top clubs are all owned by Americans. Like Arsenal's American, Man U's American, Chelsea's now American.
Yeah,
they're all American owners now, except Man City and Newcastle. Yeah, they're owned by Live Golf. But yeah, okay, Everett. NBA time.
Honestly, there's not much to talk about in the NBA for us. We kind of went over this last episode. We were talking about how our season is over and officially the NBA season is over. Except that was assuming that the Heat were going to sweep the Celtics. Now, if the Celtics win, the NBA season is only partially over. It is over for basically everybody outside of Boston and somewhat Colorado. But
yeah, and you could also say that like Philly and New York fans, the season's technically not over for them, and
Dallas
too,
and Dallas fans.
We need to make sure Boston doesn't win the finals if they somehow came back 3-0.
Yeah, I mean, the season won't be over for anybody in New York, Dallas, Philadelphia. So
Philly,
maybe throw in Wisconsin.
Now, are you throwing Dallas in there because Kyrie to the Maps? Why Dallas?
If you're a Cowboys fan, I mean, the assumption is you're just a
band. We're looking at it from that angle.
I mean,
okay.
But I mean, there's not much to go off of. Jimmy Buckets is Himmy Buckets. I expect them to close out this series. I think the series is going to end 4-2. We'll see what ends up happening for the finals. We are now 1-2 in our careers picking the NBA finals. Last year we were prophets and projected all the way to the finals. This year I don't know if we got a single game series right. But
my first prediction was the Bucks. They lost in the first round. And then it transitioned to the Lakers versus Celtics. We'll see how that one's going.
Our NBA season is officially over. We have never been much of an NBA podcast. But
no, we have. We just keep it to ourselves.
But thank you guys so much for paying attention to our NBA analytics and takes. Our season has officially come to a close. We will see you in a year.
Well, real quick, the one off-season topic that we have to talk about. So Lakers got swept. Obviously, very
Oh yes,
disappointing.
LeBron retiring. That might be it.
Let's embrace debate. Afterwards in the press conference, LeBron James, very cryptic post game press conference, wasn't giving any clear answers or anything. Is LeBron gonna retire for a
No,
year?
no.
No.
I don't think the way that LeBron works, I don't see him retiring for a year and then coming back. If he retires, I think that he's done. I don't think it's some Tom Brady kind of
No Tom
thing.
Brady from him.
I know Michael Jordan.
No Michael
Michael
Jordan from him.
Jordan. I mean, that was not really a retirement, but I don't see, because also LeBron has always been the marketer, the marketing man. Once he's done, he's probably gonna go and buy some steak somewhere. He's gonna go and start trying to do movies. Like he's gonna try and do all these kind of different entertainment things. That's what he's done. That's what
Space
he's
Jam
always
3
done.
is going to be a box office smash.
So I think, I mean, the biggest quote that I honestly saw out of all of it, obviously there are those conversations of what he was just kind of being cryptic about. But the biggest thing that he said in my mind is, obviously my goal is to play with Bronny, but if that's not what he wants, that's okay. If that's not his goal, that's okay. And I have to live with that. So
there's two ways of interpreting this.
There are definitely two ways of interpreting it,
and there are only two ways of interpreting this.
I think that if I'm LeBron, I think that I'm at least playing one more season. We've seen trade rumors for Trae Young, obviously Jaylen Brown, Kyrie coming back. I think
out of all those, I think the Kyrie's the most.
Oh yeah, it's the most probable. I do think that LeBron is gonna probably try and play one or two more seasons. He's got that in him. I don't think that he's gonna retire right now. But the only thing that's giving me some ounce of maybe this is real is the fact that LeBron wants to probably go out on top. And we don't know if they're going to get back to a Western Conference Finals. Like the team was pretty crap for most of this season, and he made it all the way here. Obviously, getting swept, but also getting swept is another reason why you're like, well, maybe he wants to come back, because that's kind of like a bad way to go out. That gives you a bad taste in your mouth. But I don't think we're going to know anything for the foreseeable future. I think he'll be back,
I think
though.
there's
I think he'll be back.
a lot of moving parts here, a lot of things to consider. I think at the end of the day, yeah, he's probably going to be back. The rest of the team, though, it's gonna be very interesting to see how they shape up. I think I saw some clips of Game 4, and it's Austin Reeves and LeBron just like absolutely grilling AD a new one for his lack of effort on defense, and
I
LeBron
think
did
so.
not look happy with Anthony Davis.
Austin Reeves is a restricted free agent this offseason. I think the Lakers are going to retain him. I think that he's going to be brought back, and I think that he's going to be one of those pieces that are going to be there after LeBron leaves. The issue with AD is he has been constantly injured, has not played well. If as somebody who's watched the games, obviously I know AD is he's a superstar player. He's on a max contract, all this stuff.
We'll never get bubble AD back ever again.
But honestly, I think that he's been much very below the bar that we think of him. I don't think that he's worth having to be paying that much to be on that team. I'd rather clear that space and get other players in there. I think that there's a decent chance this offseason AD is traded. I don't think that trade has really worked out. I just
they won a ship.
They did win it. I mean, they did, but outside of that little bit of time, AD has just been constantly injured, and he's not reliable.
No, I mean
the numbers he's been putting up, the numbers he has been putting up has not been really outside of a couple games superstar numbers. And
I don't know what the hell is wrong. How do you just get worse at free throws over the past 3 years?
I think that AD's time, and if I'm Rob Pelinka, I'm trying to trade him away. I would be trying to get some.
You mean Le GM?
Yeah, if I'm Le GM, I'm trying. Maybe I'm getting Trae Young. Maybe I'm trying to do
that one.
Maybe I'm trying to get some form of trade with the Celtics for Jaylen Brown.
I'll be honest, I don't like that either.
I just don't think. I mean, you're looking for a 2, really.
I hate to say it, but I actually think it's Kyrie.
Like I actually.
Well, I'm assuming
That's the
Kyrie's
solution.
coming either way. That's my assumption. Kyrie is not on a long-term contract right now. He's a free agent.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
So I'm saying you're signing Kyrie, and then you're trading away Anthony Davis for somebody else.
No, yeah, they can't have all three of them. Yeah.
So, and I could see it end up being a patch because obviously if you retain Austin Reeves, he'll probably end up playing next to Kyrie. Then you have LeBron. So realistically, you might trade away AD for a package deal. You might go and get who would be a good center?
We're gonna get players.
Yeah, it's. I mean,
we're not getting picks for AD.
Yeah, it's gonna be you're gonna be getting players for depth and potential starters that can relate. Like, I don't
need a shooter. Oh my
God.
God.
If Kevin Huerter wasn't traded last season, I'd say Kevin Huerter could be a potential trade target.
Kevin Huerter would be
Colin Sexton.
He's not a shooter. That's not who we want.
I mean, you need Kyrie? Defense too. Anyways, that's all I got. That's all I got.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see what's going on with Bron. I do think, at the end of the day, I think it'd be really, really funny. Like, I think there's actually a 0% chance happens, but it'd be pretty funny if LeBron just retired for a year, became a USC assistant head coach, but like wasn't actually coaching, was just like dunking pregame and stuff. That'd be pretty funny.
I foresee there being a higher chance of AD getting traded than LeBron retiring this offseason.
Yeah, I'd say right now, if I were going to give an AD trade, I'd say 40 to 50%, which I'd actually say is pretty high.
Yeah,
I give it around there.
Somebody's going to come and be like, "Well, you guys don't know basketball." I mean, we don't, but
you're correct. I don't. Well, I don't think I need to know much about basketball to know that AD and Bron isn't working anymore. I don't think you need to know that much.
They're getting a divorce.
It's also funny though that literally your playoff performance, that's just how you influence contracts now. Like,
no, for real.
Rui might demand.
Is Rui still under contract though? For
he's restricted. But
he's a restricted free. Okay. Rui will be
what
back.
I'm reading right now is that we can keep one of them. We can't keep both. That's what I'm hearing. I don't know.
I'm not gonna lie. Give me Austin Reeves.
But that's what I'm hearing.
Give me Austin Reeves. I want Austin Reeves. You can't lose. You can't lose.
Can let him go.
Well, you can't lose.
Need a ball handler.
You can't lose Caruso and then Austin Reeves back to back. You can't do that to the fan base. Come on now.
Just imagine AC3 out there on the court right now with the bald head and the headband. God, I miss it so much. I miss it so much.
Okay, I don't know if you have anything on college football. Honestly, nothing much has come out.
I do have some college football stuff. I saw a little clip of new USC defensive tackle transfer Bear Alexander showing off his new room, his new apartment at USC. And I just want to say this, Everett, I can confirm from firsthand experience that Lincoln Riley, compared to Clay Helton in the last USC coaching regime, Lincoln Riley has essentially demanded USC to improve student athlete housing, and put them in priority places. When I was a sophomore at USC, that was my first year living there. Shout out COVID. My sophomore year, which was my freshman year, when I was at USC, I lived at a USC affiliated apartment complex.
It was right off of campus. You saw Drake London.
Yeah. So ton of USC players happen to live there. I saw Drake London like literally scooting around in our apartment complex. He broke his ankle. But I just want to say Bear Alexander is clearly not staying there anymore. Clearly not. Even though first round pick, top 10 pick Drake London had to stay in the same place that I lived in. Okay, it's me that we're talking about, people. Okay, me. And so last thing I just want to say, Everett, those rooms, they only fit twin beds.
Yeah.
Okay. So I just want to say I lived beneath a group of football players. 2 of them were linemen and the other 2 were skill guys. But let's say if they had a friend over, oh yeah, you can really hear that twin shaking. Let's just say that. It was so unreasonable to expect
that
6'6", 280, 300-pound men to fit in a twin. What are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing here? You wonder why we can't stop the run on Saturdays, guys.
They got back problems. They got back problems from the bed. Been sleeping on the ground.
But I'm literally thinking to myself, I was like, yeah, like I'm uncomfortable sleeping in a twin. I don't want to know what the backup offensive tackle is thinking when he fits into his twin.
Just saying,
night,
he's like, he's like, his legs are like off the end of the bed for him. Like, just like
100%. They probably had to bring like one of those like couch footrests at the end of the bed to like extend the length, because like they literally would be hanging off the bed.
Yeah.
But I mean, also if you're a sicko, I can see that like it could in a way just be really efficient, because you could just leave your shoes on all day because they won't be in your bed. Disgusting.
That's disgusting.
There might be some sickos.
I would be
out there who
so
think of it that
uncomfortable.
way.
I'd be so uncomfortable.
Yeah, no, personally, I'm one of those people. This is a quick debate. You know, the shower at night versus shower in the morning. Growing up, I was always shower at night.
I
Like,
was too
when I
growing
was
up,
like
yeah.
5 or 6, 7
Yeah.
years old.
I was the same.
And I swear to God, when you showered the night before, your sleep is better. That's just a fact. I don't know. I don't have any proof.
You just feel it's nice. It's nice coming out and you just feel clean and like,
no,
it's a nice feeling.
It is true. I did just want to say though, like there's a healthy amount of people on Twitter who are like obviously shower at night, and then I have to follow up like, well, you also shower in the morning before work, right? They're like, no. Like, that's disgusting. Like, take 2 showers.
Like, also
you have to shower before going to work.
Yeah,
That's
otherwise you look gross. Like, my whole thing is
not even that. You just feel great. You're not ready for the day.
Yeah, that's how I wake up in the morning. Is I just get a face full of water from my shower.
Like we went over this a couple weeks ago. I tried the cold shower in the morning. I confirmed my roommate like is a psychopath and like might have some murder charges against him. But like the cold shower, it works. Like if that's your goal, then it works. And I also just want to say, like, when I first asked my roommate, I'm like, for this culture, I'm like, are you like shampooing there? He's like, no. God, no, this isn't like an actual shower. It's like
he's just waking up. Yeah, he's waking up.
Yeah. That I was confused about. I was like, you might be a sick, because like my roommate takes like some long ass showers. I'm like, there's no way you're in there for 10 minutes. You just sang Let It Happen by Tame Impala and you're about to start Sorry by Justin Bieber and it's cold. There's no way. There's just no way. But yeah, I just want to say shout out Lincoln Riley. He got on that ass.
Do it for the boys.
USC AD also resigned due to health reasons. Shout out Carol Fultz. When she identifies a problem, she makes the AD resign for health reasons. That's happened to the last 2 USC ADs in the past 5 years. Oh, damn it. Last thing about college football. I'm sorry, Everett. Gene Smith, the former Ohio State athletic director, who I believe is now president of football operations for the Chicago Bears, Kevin Warren. He left his Big Ten commissioner job to go to the Bears because his lifelong goal is to become commissioner of the NFL. He wants to take over for Roger Goodell one day. Good luck, Charlie. But Kevin Warren recently has been crowned, has been championed, has been praised by so many for negotiating this new Big Ten media rights deal with Fox, NBC, CBS. This is the only issue, though. Kevin Warren told NBC, we'll give you the 26 or 27 Big Ten championship game. The only problem is the Big Ten didn't own that game. They didn't own the Big Ten championship game. Fox did. So right now, the $7 billion deal between the Big Ten, Fox, NBC, and CBS is now in peril because NBC was falsely promised a Big Ten championship game that Kevin Warren was not authorized to give to NBC. So, yeah, Kevin Warren, you're the biggest moron, idiot, dumbass I have literally ever had the displeasure of associating with in my life. What you did during COVID was laughable and absolutely just disgusting what you did to the Big Ten. We are still recovering. Ohio State has still not made up the money that they lost from COVID. They just took out a $50 million loan to help their Ohio State, Everett. Ohio State took out a $50 million loan for their athletic
On the
department.
bright side, they'll be able to pay it off pretty quick.
True.
On the bright side.
Maybe not anymore, because that $7 billion deal might be worth $7 billion at the end of the day when it goes into effect. And I also think that it begins in 2 years. So they get that shit done. Makes you wonder why Kevin Warren dipped Ohio State so quick. Maybe
okay.
Yeah.
NFL. Let's get into the NFL.
Right.
Okay, so there's a couple things I have for today. There's actually a decent amount of content I have for today.
We forgot about the Dodgers. I just want to go over real quick.
Yeah, we can do that.
Dodgers have been lining up the Braves. Phenomenal midweek series. I just want to say we're spoiled rotten. We're spoiled rotten.
We are.
Literally
Also,
4 weeks ago,
we were
blow up the team. We need to trade for everybody. That was what we were saying.
I mean, we still like we it's every other day at this point.
We still believe that. Like that's even more so my point. We're so spoiled. We want more.
Also,
we're literally
just
the Kylo Ren meme.
I'm very, very happy with Bobby Miller's performance going against the Braves. Came in with a 5.65 ERA in the minors. I was not thinking that he was ready. I will give him props. My man put the big boy pants on. The only run that technically was let up was on an error technically by Rojas. It still counts against his ERA, but
they called it an error. Scoring. Sean Murphy got to him, and then he gave up a run to Austin Riley, but that's okay. I was so unbelievably impressed with his performance against Matt Olson.
Yeah.
3 Ks against Matt Olson. Are you kidding? Your first MLB start, you're striking out Matt Olson 3 times.
I was nervous. But I'm very happy with the direction in which that's going. Gavin Stone, can't say as much.
Well, this is what I'm gonna say. Spin zone, okay? Spin zone. Obviously, gave up 4 in the first. Wasn't great, okay? Was not great, don't get me wrong. But how he responded to that first inning was one of the most impressive things I've ever seen. Keep in mind, that was his 2nd ever MLB appearance. So he gave up 4 in the first, then went 3 scoreless, gave up a run in the 5th when he should have been pulled, shouldn't have even been in for that situation. I was really, really impressed with Gavin Stone, considering how literally everything went wrong in that first inning. Gave up 4 runs in the first inning, and he responded. He sat in there, gave us more innings. I was really impressed with him.
Yeah, I'm hoping that
JD Martinez. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
On a good track right now. I have higher hopes right now for Bobby than I have for Gavin, but we will see where we go. The only other thing that I have to say about the Dodgers is Ozuna, get your ass further in the box. If you hit Will Smith in the back of the head one more time, and I hear one more comment about people being like, Will Smith just needs to move back. Dude, he's in the
back foot is?
He's out of the box. Ozuna is out of the box.
I also just want to say, like, it is an advantage to be further back in the box because you have more time to react. Hit the ball. But like, also, is that not cheating?
You have to be within the batter box like that. Yeah. That's a strike. That's a call.
I understand you want to stand as far back as possible.
Also, by the way, but like, Will Smith, like, this is not the first time that Ozuna has hit Will Smith in the head. It's also not the first
5 times.
It's also not the first time in the last week he's hit a catcher in the back of the head.
Has done it 5 times in the past week.
He hit
Will Smith was like, A's. Dude, what the actual
was it the A's catcher last week? He did. It's the same thing. He's always tapping them on the like, dude. If you want to stand on the back of the box, fine, whatever. I don't care. Then just don't whip your bat around the back of your head.
No, like if you're gonna have a one-handed swing, you can't finish like that. Dude.
Also, on top of that, Will Smith, like, it's arguably cheating because Will Smith just came out of concussion protocol, and coming back, if you get hit.
Now this is spin zone. If Ozuna was purposely doing this,
if you get hit in the head or anything, you automatically go and have to get concussion checked, and you can get pulled from the game. So Ozuna hitting him in the head with the bat is arguably an advantage for the Braves because you could be taking out one of the Dodgers' best hitters
they pulled
of the game.
Georgia on Marvin Harrison, like literally.
So that can't keep continuing to happen. Ozuna is the only person I have ever heard of hitting catchers in the back of the head. Constantly.
He's the only person I've heard of that has a recurring problem of doing it.
Constantly.
It's like, dude, what the hell? Like at first, I thought it was catcher's interference.
Yeah, because he was just too. And it's also like people are also being like, oh, Will Smith should just back up. Like, it's not on Ozuna. 1, Ozuna's standing out of the box. Yeah. He's backed up all the way. 2, Will Smith is literally as far back
as they know where to.
Will Smith is as far back as you can possibly be without harming your pitcher's ability.
And
to
also,
toss to you
if Will Smith needs to move back, then how come this only happens with Ozuna and nobody else? Like,
It's literally the fact that now everybody's seen it because it's happened. Like it was with the A's or something. Now everybody's seen it with the Dodgers. Now people, it's also the Dodgers. They're like, oh no, it's the Dodgers' fault. Like, no, it's not. Ozuna is just sitting illegally in the back of the box. But whatever.
And Ozuna also sucks.
He stinks.
It might be in the
He
Braves'
stinks.
best interest to just DFA him.
Anyways,
censored sucks. Did I miss the email? Did I miss that email?
What?
We have to censor sucks now?
We have to censor suck. What?
You just said stinks. Were you correcting me to not
No,
say sucks?
no. I was talking at the same time. You were just lagging out.
I was about to say I did.
You get an email from our intern?
No.
Okay, we're fine.
Yeah,
that's his job to figure out. We're good. We're good.
Sucks. Is that removed?
Yeah, we might be having a meeting with the HR department later today. Okay, NFL. There's a couple things I have here for the NFL. First thing, I don't know how important this is just to mention, but the NFL has now approved, Roger Goodell has approved an adjustment to the kickoffs where now if you fair catch anywhere on the field, you don't even have to be in the end zone, you will automatically start at the 25-yard line. Special teams coaches, players, coaches, everybody associated to just teams in general, all unanimously
coaches can do the fair catch.
No. You just let me finish. I said special team players, special team coaches, everybody unanimously rejected this idea, only for Roger Goodell to then go and approve it, citing potential future basically lawsuits and stuff, as basically not literally saying that, but that's the reason why he said he approved it. My man doesn't want to get sued. I don't know how much you pay attention to Pat McAfee. He was pissed off. A lot of people in the NFL are pissed off. It's basically like college now. I'm not the hugest fan of it. I'm not a big fan of that. I think that takes away of a big aspect of the NFL, of football. Obviously, you don't want people to get hurt, but we already adjusted kickoffs enough to try and help alleviate a lot of head injuries.
Yeah, like kickoff, you guys don't get a run up anymore. They have to be standstill.
Like
when the ball's
if
hit.
you have a player that's able, like the Vikings, we have Kenny Nwangwu. Like he is one of the better special team returners, a kick returner in the NFL. But now with the fact that you're automatically going to be able to go to the 25 instead of taking it all the way to the house, if the kick's a little bit outside of the end zone, that's going to stop teams from wanting to have these players be able to make big plays.
That too. Well, another thing I was thinking, like from the kickoff team perspective, like one thing that like I loved about Ohio State when Urban Meyer took over is that instead of just kicking the ball out of the end zone touchback, they began like kicking the ball on the 1 yard line at like literally on the boundary, like the left sideline. So like pretend you're kicking, you're looking downfield. So they'd kick it to the sideline and they would have the entire kickoff team just shift over to the left and like shorten down or cut down the field. If you get what I'm saying.
Also
so
though,
like let's say this is the whole field.
No, I know what you're saying. They're going that way.
Outside gunner lined up like here, and he'd be cutting in. So it
also though
you're defending half
like
the field.
That's
a strategy.
There's a big strategy too. Like if you're winning, let's say you're up 7 with 15 seconds, 20 seconds left, 30 seconds left, whatever. You're going against Patrick Mahomes, right? Let's just say you're going against the Chiefs. You have 30 seconds left. You just scored a touchdown. You're up 7. Teams will kick it to like the 1 yard line, 2 yard line because it'll burn clock and the players have to take it out. Now, if you can just fair catch it, that completely removes an entire like strategy from the game. And you're giving teams who shouldn't have as much time to be able to do these things way more time than they should. And if you give a player like Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, if he hadn't retired, if you give them that much time instead, like that's just, it's not fair to do that.
So I think what I believe this was like floating around kind of recently, where instead of an onside kick, you can get like a 4th and 15.
So that's what the XFL does.
The XFL? The XFL does that?
It's USFL, and I think the XFL both do that.
So I mean, if they did that, it essentially just wouldn't even be football. We're making a new sport. But like if we want to remove kickoff entirely, essentially that's what they're kind of saying. Then let's just full on remove it. I don't want to do that.
The kickoff is such an iconic. It's part of football.
Exciting play.
The most exciting part of football.
So sick.
And like I understand we're in a new age. We're worrying about player health, head trauma, but let's be honest here. The only reason Roger Goodell did this is to prevent lawsuits in the future.
Yeah,
Like that is the
it's
reason why
protecting
this
his
happened.
finances that
And
way.
and I just, if you take away these kind of aspects of the game, at what point are we really playing football anymore? That's the question
True.
that's asked, because we
Another
still
thing that
have
I
the
will admit is that, after a touchdown, extra point, commercial, kickoff, commercial, and then the drive starts, I'll be honest, a lot of times I'm not paying attention at all to the kickoff. At all. I'll be
I mean,
honest.
yeah, but I mean, it depends on the game. I pay
It could
attention.
speed the game up.
I
Like
pay
it
it. I mean,
might be able to, if you just gave
no,
them
because
the
the
ball
thing
at
is,
the 25.
if they just automatically fair
I know
catch it,
there's no more onside kick.
it's still going straight to what? You said there's no
Well,
more
I was
onside
saying
kicks.
just remove kickoffs when you score a touchdown. The other team just gets it at the 25.
That's just
Essentially what
it takes away a whole like fun part of the game. And like if you're at a game, by the way, if you're at a game live in person, one of the most exciting plays of the entire game when you know stuff's gonna happen, you're sitting there, you're watching the kickoff. That is one of the best parts of being at a football game in person is you're watching the kickoff.
I'll be
And
honest, my first ever NFL game I ever went to was a preseason game. It was between the Seahawks and the Broncos. And ironically, they played a preseason game the year they matched up in the Super Bowl, and Seattle shit on the Broncos. Very ironically, that preseason game almost went identically to the Super Bowl. It was like 49-7 Seattle in this preseason game. First play of the game, like how Seattle took the opening second half kickoff back, very first play of the game, housed in a 109-yard kickoff touchdown return. Literally one of the most exciting things I've ever seen.
it's just
It was a preseason game.
I understand player safety, but there's a point where you're taking away a lot of aspects. You're taking away people's jobs too,
Yeah,
and
Matthew Slater.
uh, you're taking
That's the
away
only special gunner I could think of.
Hardy, apparently Justin Hardy, apparently for the Jets, where I told them to cut him. You have kick returners, punter, like you're taking away viewership, you're taking away people's jobs, coaching jobs. Like there's a point where you're ruining the sport. And I think we're getting dangerously close to the point where football is going to start, the NFL is going to start doing things that is going to ruin the whole point of what the NFL actually is.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like kickoff and stuff, like they can remove kickoff before they can remove punt. I'm not sure if it's possible to get rid of punting.
Arguably, too, by the way. I mean, we can get our special team specialists back in here. But when we were talking to Quan and Shay about punting return and kicking return, what the fuck are you?
I'm saying, like, can you remove punting from football? Like, because
you can remove like kick returners from it. You just touch the ball. But like the punting is arguably more dangerous than kick returning, and like because you come,
kickoff is kickoff's dangerous. It's a longer distance.
I mean, yes, it's a longer distance, but also once you get like up to the point you're making
punt. Oh my god, punt! It switches from who's on offense to who's on defense so fast. Oh my god, like punt is.
Anyways.
Brutal. Punt is brutal.
That's just kind of what our thoughts right now are on the NFL, and it's just my biggest issue with this. Obviously, I have qualms with the fact that it's just a rule in general that's now been made. My biggest issue though is the entirety of the NFL understanding, the players and the coaches, everybody understanding what potential health implications can happen out of it. You know, what the benefits and like pros and cons are, and everybody unanimously saying no, and it still gets approved. I just feel like that is that's a big issue. Yeah, that's a big issue.
That highlights something there.
But so the other thing that I have, I still have two more things after this. I just think
quick thing.
This is just the most perfect Jets thing physically possible. Aaron Rodgers has already tweaked his ankle at Jets practices, at OTAs. When Zach Wilson said that he was going to make his life hell, he really he took it to another level. Zach Wilson took it to another level. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if Zach Wilson kind of put out some fishing wire or something, tripped Aaron Rodgers up, you know.
Potentially. I mean, I'm not leaving that one off the table. Zach Wilson, my goodness, you talk about the past 10 months for this guy, going from MILF Hunter, to him being like, oh,
It was like
this
2
is my
years, but
team.
yeah.
I thought that was last offseason.
He got drafted. No, that was right after he got drafted.
MILF Hunter?
Yeah, that was like right after he
Really?
got drafted. I'm pretty sure.
I'm sure. I could have sworn that was last summer.
Technically,
I could have sworn. But that
maybe,
wasn't his first year last
maybe,
year.
but I thought I heard some stuff about it his first season.
Wow, I did not hear.
Or maybe
about
he was his
then.
girlfriend. His girlfriend stuff started after he was, and it fully came.
Like his girlfriend like broke up with Zach Wilson and started dating his former teammate at BYU.
That's what it was, and then the whole thing came out later. That's what it was.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. No, I was discussing this earlier today with my dad, and I was saying, Dad, like, I don't think Zach Wilson, like, out of reaction to his girlfriend starting to date his former receiver, I'm not sure if this was quite out of reaction to go start hunting for your mom's best friend. I was, me and my dad, we had a big talk about MILFs this morning. And yeah, I don't think it was in reaction. I think Zach Wilson, I think he just has that dog in him, not on the field, but off the field. Yes.
Oh, that's enough with that.
He has that dog in him. And I don't think the girlfriend had anything to do with it. I think they were irrelevant situations.
All right. What
I talked about this morning.
Great household.
My mom's out of town. A little more locker room talk in the house, boys. A little more locker room talk.
So, all right, what do you have before I get into these?
Austin Eckler will officially be back. Everett, guess how much money he wanted that the Chargers, it took them months to finally budget and give him. Guess how much money he wanted?
12.5.
No. He wanted, guess how much additional money he wanted just for this upcoming season?
Oh, like 3.
$1.75 million. The Chargers were really going to hold out for $1.75 million. And they didn't even give it fully guaranteed. They're all incentive based. So they didn't even officially like give it to him. That's all it took.
They adjusted it. So he also will be a free agent next offseason.
Oh, I thought he was a free agent next offseason anyway.
No, I don't know. I don't know, but like
so they shortened his contract?
I think that was, yeah, I think so. I'm not entirely sure. I didn't like look into the Chargers contracts before.
I mean, I've never heard this, but I guess it's up to the team. Like at the end of the day, it's up to the team to be like, yeah, I want to shorten your contract. Like they can.
Yeah, I mean, if the team and player agreed, then that's what will happen.
Yeah,
you have to. I mean,
guess.
It's like, I mean, it's basically an inverse contract extension. It just works. You just have to allocate the money properly, or you both basically be like, we're just not gonna do any of this.
Yeah, but last thing I want to say, let's run it back, boys. We never got to see the full product on the field together last year. Let's see it this year.
This also really opens up the window and kind of tells me Dalvin Cook is gonna be gone. He was the only other big market candidate for.
Yeah, it was just them too.
Yeah. So, and it kind of, I think that tells me, I mean,
Derrick Henry, I guess.
No, I think
they have Tajay in town, so Derrick Henry's gonna be their backup anyway. So like, there's no reason to keep
him. I think that this kind of just guarantees that, because we were hearing rumors about the Dolphins being in on Eckler and being in on Dalvin. I think this kind of tells us that once
are you sold on a backfield of just Alexander Madison?
It's gonna be
ham sauce on 3rd and short.
It's gonna be It's gonna be a rotationary backfield. Madison, Tyson Chandler. And Tyson
is Kenne in there?
I don't know. That's the issue.
Chandler.
I think it's Tyler Chandler.
Yeah, we got a 7'3" running back. Used to play for the Suns and stuff. Yeah.
And Dwayne McBride. But I don't. The issue now with the whole kickoff thing is I don't know if Kenne is going to be on the team, because the biggest this is a debate that everybody has had. He hasn't gotten really any reps.
Jalen Reagor.
But
I mean, you have a returner.
No. Here, this is the I was explaining this on Vikings Twitter like the other week when I was actually with you. But the issue is Kenne is one of the best kick returners in the league, and he hasn't really been used at running back. So the issue is, are we going to have 4 running backs? And that doesn't make sense. So now with the rules changing for kick returner, the question is, how much do you value that position? Because you can just get to the 25-yard line no matter what. You don't have to worry about losing yards and a chance to get a touchdown. And with Jalen Reagor last year, the Vikings showed that they are willing to have a player on the roster just specifically for a specialist position and a punt returner. And that's the bigger thing that they traded for in Jalen Ramsey, which is why my argument was I could see them keeping on Kene as a fourth running back, third running back, whatever, just for kick returning. But now with the rule change, I don't know if that's going to be the case. And we'll see what happens in the preseason. Anyways, it'll be interesting to see what happens coming literally a week from today is when the new league year starts. That's when a lot of cuts are going to start being made on some players. Some trades are going to be made. I think we'll see what happens with Dalvin Cook. I just don't think that he hasn't been at OTAs yet. I don't think that he's going to be on the Vikings come next season. I think that he might not be even on the Vikings in a week from today, when we'll see if it's a trade or a cut, but it's going to be one or the other. It just
I'd say like right now, some big names I'm looking at him. I'm looking at D Hop. I'm not sure if he's gonna be back in Arizona or not.
Like, he will be. He will be. He said he wants to come back for a year.
Okay, he must have a great house out in Arizona. So that's what I had on football.
Okay, so I have I will end with division. We have division power rankings today. I will end with that. I have a little game for us to play.
I like that.
I have a little game for us to play today. So for everybody watching, listening, obviously, I'm sure you have seen, if you haven't watched Pokemon, who's that Pokemon? There's a game that's going around. That's, a game in quotation marks. Basically, you have two different players. You don't know what the players are, but you're given statistics, and you basically say which player you like more or you think's better, and that's like the player that you would choose, and then obviously you're told what the players are. That's basically what this little game we have here is going to be. I'm going to give Grant two different players. I'm going to give him their statistics, and he's going to tell me which one he'd rather have based on that, and then I'll let him know what are the two quarterbacks. It's a little rough sketch, but I think it'll be fun. It's going to be good content.
And also, you're only giving me career averages.
Yeah, so I will be giving career averages.
This is careers. I don't care how the players are today. Okay, all right. I don't care. These are careers, guys.
Yeah, you're. I mean, if I list somebody who's from like 1975, you're not going to get him and his 80-year-old state right now. You're
no. That's what I was saying. But I'm saying, like, if you gave me, like, I don't know, like Joe Burrow and then like Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers, and Brady or Rodgers numbers are better, and I pick him. It's not reflective of today. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see.
Don't give me totals. Give me averages, because
I got
totals
you. It's bullshit. Yeah, it's bullshit. Okay, here we go. Player A.
Okay.
Average completion percentage of 64. Average yards per game at 258. Rating of 92.8. Average yards per season at 3,600. Average TDs per season at 22. Average interceptions per season at 10. 3 Pro Bowls and 1 Super Bowl appearance.
Okay. Any rushing numbers on that head, or are we just
no rushing? No rushing numbers. Okay. Player B. Average completion percentage of 62%.
First was 64, correct?
64.
And this was 62. Okay.
62. Average yards per game at 238. A rating of 92.2. Average yards per season at 3,600. TDs per season at 27. Interceptions per season at 12. 2 Pro Bowls and 1 second team All-Pro.
So in terms of stats, these guys are like essentially the exact same.
More or less. Player B has 5 more touchdowns and 2 more interceptions. Also with 2% less completion percentage. Same amount of yards, basically the same rating.
Go over the Pro Bowls, the accolades, go over the accomplishments.
Player A has 3 Pro Bowls and 1 Super Bowl appearance. Player B has 2 Pro Bowls and 1 second team All-Pro.
We got some decisions to make here. I would usually prefer to go with the completion percentage guy, but if the difference is that negligible, we'll go with option B. I'll go with the guy who made second team All-Pro NFL, All-Pro second team. I'll go with that
The
guy.
players you were
Super Bowl
choosing
appearance.
between were Jared Goff and Josh Allen. You chose
Was
Josh
Josh
Allen.
Allen B?
Josh Allen was player B.
Wait, Super Bowl runner up. Oh no, that was player
Super Bowl
A. That was player A.
appearance
That was player A. That
was
was player
Jared Goff. But
people forget.
just very interesting, by the way, how close,
scarily close. Yeah,
how similar those numbers are. Which, by the way, like when everybody is being like, "Why the fuck is Jared Goff on the top quarterbacks list?" You're looking at these numbers. Nobody, and we were like, we've been trying to mix and match, do our own Waterboy analytics over here with player quarterback rankings and values.
Yeah, we're gonna come up with the greatest Waterboy QBR rating in the history of sports.
And we were sitting here, we're like, why the fuck is Jared Goff like a top 5 quarterback? Because like we were just thinking about Jared Goff, and obviously everybody's like, it's Jared Goff. But looking at these numbers, like it's very surprising how good in comparison to players that are highly regarded Jared Goff actually is.
Yeah, I mean, Goff, his 2 seasons in Detroit have been very, very good, and like I mean,
2019
obviously,
on
we're all
the
just
Rams
staring at
too.
the. Yeah, I mean, obviously, the 2017 year was very good. Was it 2018? 2017 they lost in the Super Bowl. Was that?
Yeah, I thought it was 2019 for whatever reason. It was 2017. But I mean, the interesting thing with these two players, by the way, is you're essentially choosing between one Pro Bowl appearance and a Super Bowl or a second team All Pro.
Yeah, but I mean, then at the same time, we got to look at the teams that played for. I think Josh Allen.
No, well, but that's the whole point of this. That's the beauty of this is you don't know either player. You don't know who they are. So when you're just choosing between it, that's all you have to go off of.
Okay. If we have another,
there's one more. Yeah, there's one more.
Okay, maybe withhold on playoff information. I don't want to have any idea of who they could possibly play for.
I mean, you're gonna probably want the playoff information.
Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see when we get there. We'll see.
I'll withhold it, and if you want it later,
yeah,
I'll give it after. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Player A, completion percentage of 60.3, yards per game 241, rating of 84.1, yards per season at 3,500, TDs per season at 23, interceptions per season at 15, 4 Pro Bowls.
Okay.
Player B, completion percentage of 66.8, yards per game at 261, a rating of 97.8, yards per season at 3,400, TDs per season at 23, interceptions per season at 9, 4 Pro Bowls, and record holder for most game-winning drives in a single season.
Who the fuck could player?
So in comparison,
I mean, just from what you said, player B seems phenomenal. Let me hear everything about player A. I'm guessing he has some more information about him.
2 Super Bowls, 2 Super Bowl MVPs.
I'm gonna get this player correct. 2 Super Bowl MVPs.
Don't worry about the player, like who they are themselves. That takes away the point of the game. Player A.
No,
or
I
player
know, B. But I'm just trying to think here. Who I don't even know who the hell that could be. Tell me the completion percentage one more time.
Player A 60.3, player B 66.8.
B from that alone.
Players on the field were Eli Manning and Kirk Cousins.
Eli Manning A?
Eli Manning was A and Kirk Cousins was B.
Thank God I was correct picking B. Would have looked like a fool if I picked A.
I mean, everybody kind of regards Eli Manning. I mean, Hall of Fame quarterback and everything. So,
I mean, probably will get in there, but
I'm just saying. I think that the way that people regard Kirk Cousins is a little bit like it's kind of surprising when you look at those kind of stats.
Like another thing I want to say, a lot of people like to bring up, myself included, how football has just changed. Efficiency is valued much higher. Like when I looked at like Ohio State quarterbacks recently, every single player's completion percentage has gone up. compared to historical numbers, literally because of their style of offense.
Mm-hmm.
But I just want to say, Kirk Cousins having a career 67% completion percentage. That's absurd.
It's pretty good.
That's ridiculous. His first full year as a starter, he had essentially a 70% completion percentage. Like, you know, you can argue about your yards per attempt. Obviously, that matters a lot. Don't get me wrong. And if we want to talk about yards per attempt, by the way, guess which quarterback led all potential draftees in yards per attempt last year, Everett?
Justin Herbert.
CJ Stroud. I was talking about draft prospects, but yeah.
Oh, well, you could have said draft prospects.
Yeah, I kind of messed that one up. But if even yards per attempt, I feel like it's less relevant now because quick passing game is so important now. RPOs are a thing now. You're gonna be throwing 3-yard routes.
I think the yards per attempt in general has always kind of been BS to look at it as a scaling factor because I mean it doesn't really reflect your ability to play the game.
It really doesn't tell anything at all.
If you're a wide receiver, I think that it has.
It definitely matters way more for a receiver.
Okay, final thing that we have here, and then we're going to wrap up the episode. Division power rankings for the 2023 NFL season, 1 through 8. Do we want to go 8 to 1 or 1 to 8?
8 to 1.
8 to 1.
I like going backwards. I think it's more fun.
Okay, 8 to 1. NFC South, AFC South, NFC North, NFC West, AFC North, AFC West, NFC East, AFC East.
Now I remember last year preseason, it was pretty much just me. I was raving about AFC best, AFC best, AFC best, AFC best. You have them ranked as the 5th best.
AFC division. Best, AFC best is 3. NFC best is 5.
Whoops. My bad. We went backwards. My bad.
NFC.
Yeah, never mind then. Yeah. I'm a fan of AFC best at 3. This is I hate to say it again, but I'm just telling you right now, the Broncos are going to be good this year. Like I was dead on about 6-11, 7-10 last year. This year, 9-8, 10-7. Okay, 9-8, 10-7. That's what I got for Denver. I think they're going to significantly.
Do you think they make the playoffs?
Could sneak in that wild card.
Do you think they will make the division? Do you think they will make the playoffs? Given every team that's in the AFC,
it's going to be crazy. Because
yes
Bills,
or no?
Dolphins, no. I'm saying no.
Okay. Do the Chargers make the playoffs this year?
Yeah, but I'm biased. My opinion doesn't matter.
So you think it's going to be Chiefs, Chargers, Broncos?
Yeah. For the division, yeah.
The issue is going to come out to be who wins divisions, because obviously you automatically get a playoff bid by winning your division.
Yeah.
And in the AFC, we have multiple teams in multiple divisions that are going to be playing for wild card spots, like in the AFC East, right? Let's just say, right, there are three teams in the AFC East that are playing to win the division and make the playoffs. And I guarantee you, the other two,
good chance that they'll make it.
In the AFC,
each other.
Like let's just look at it. Let's just look at it this way, all right? AFC North, I only see one team coming into the playoffs this year. That's the Bengals. AFC South, one team, Jaguars. AFC West, let's just start with the Chiefs. Let's say they're running back the division.
You don't need to debate me on that.
And let's say AFC East. Let's say we have a fully healthy team this year. Let's say the Dolphins win the division. Okay. So we have those four selected, right? And we have 7 teams in total. Now we're going to be looking at, are we going to get 2 teams out of the AFC East and 1 out of the AFC West, or 2 out of the AFC West and 1 out of the AFC East?
I think preseason, everybody would be pretty confident saying 2 out of AFC Beast over AFC West. I feel like most people would be confident saying that. Shit changes though.
Shit changes throughout the season, obviously, in any capacity because of injury. But if I'm just looking head to head on all these teams, we're talking about the Chargers, the Broncos, and let's just say the Bills and the Jets, or even put the Dolphins in there. I think all 3 of those teams in the AFC East, any of them would be better record wise than the Broncos or the Chargers. It just comes down to, or a better team than the Broncos or the Chargers. It comes down to the strength of schedule, really. And if you have a harder schedule in the AFC East, you might have one last win, still be a better team, but the team in the AFC
when I look
West
at last year's schedule, like around week 13, 12, 13, 14, around that time, the AFC playoff picture, it was Ravens 5, Everett. Ravens were the 5 seed. 6 seed were the Dolphins, and the 7 seed, it wasn't us. It might have been no, it wasn't the Jets that late.
Bills.
I already said the Dolphins. No, Bills had that division.
Jaguars. Because I think they had the Colt. They had the Titans.
It was one of the. I'm forgetting who it was. There was one other. It might have been the Titans actually. But we went on a streak. We won 4 straight. End of the year, lost the last game of the season when we should have rest. We're not talking about that.
Whatever. That's a story for another day.
Went on a nice little win streak. I just I'm not sure how sold I am on like a Jags repeat or like
that entire division of the AFC South. The Jags are 100% the best team in there. I don't know.
I'd like to think so too.
Look at everybody that people have coming back.
I just feel like last year we had a consensus who was winning each division.
Titans are in disarray. Also, we thought the Colts were going to be winning the division last year. They were dog shit.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like,
so obviously things change, but when we're looking at teams that we're talking about these divisions, right? That are bad. We're talking about bad divisions. Okay,
like there's a South. Could the Falcons just win that? Maybe. Like maybe.
I don't honestly. The NFC South is a complete. They're all equally as bad as each other.
Yeah, like that division.
So, I mean, if you were to tell me I need to choose the best team in that division, I'm probably going to say the Saints are the best team in that division.
Oh yeah, I would say that with Derek Carr now. At least they can put up 20 a week. Yeah.
So. I mean, also keep in mind we haven't. The last we saw Derek Carr, he was hot garbage. So we'll see if he's any better this year on the Saints. Everybody's been like the Saints are great now. They have Derek Carr. Keep in mind.
Is that the narrative going around right now, or is that just Saints fans because you're from New Orleans?
I'm not entirely sure, but everything that I've heard everywhere is nobody's naysaying Derek Carr. There's no dumping on Derek.
I'll be honest, Derek Carr doesn't have many haters. Does he?
Josh McDaniels.
Well, he also arguably leads the league in haters himself.
Anyways, we've been rambling. Would love to continue the conversation, but unfortunately there are probably 0 people listening right now.
I'd like to think that there are some more people.
Maybe my grandma. Maybe my grandma's still listening. We'll see.
I don't feel like we needed to take personal jabs at ourselves today. But if we're
self-deprecating humor,
if we're gonna do it, let's just go all in. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I look horrible right now with my sunburn. I look awful. I'm embarrassed to go outside. I literally feel what is Deadpool's name? What is that? I feel like that guy right now, putting my hood on. What is Deadpool's that
Wade Wilson?
Wade
Wilson. Yeah.
I feel like Wade right now. Ironically, my middle name is very close to Wade, so it kind of fits. But I do feel pretty embarrassed of myself. Literally that one dude who got infected by tree bark and started growing bark for skin. That's kind of how I feel like right now.
Okay. With that, thank you guys so much for watching, listening. Rate us 5 stars. You can find us on Spotify, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram at Waterboy Pod. Make sure to follow me and Grant on Twitter at Everett Takes and at Waterboy Grant. Make sure to subscribe and follow us on all platforms. Make sure to share with your friends and download. And with that, Waterboy's out.
I love you, Bobby Miller.